Greetings, everybody. Hope everybody is really doing well out there today in Asia. Thank you for joining us for the webinar we're doing today, showcasing some of the beautiful castles, homes, palaces of very famous landmarks across Britain. So when you're coming to the UK, when you're coming to London, when you're coming to York, you're driving around the countryside, there are all these magnificent places that you must come and see. Before we start, let me just make sure that the audience is responding today. I'd like everybody out there in Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, Singapore, Malaysia, and more. Please type in hello, hello in the chat box. Okay, so today we're going to come across to see these really fantastic places. First off, we're going to go to Leeds Castle. We're going to meet Jenny, who's going to present to us about this. Then we're going to go to Chatsworth House, where we're going to meet Rebecca and Gareth, and they're going to tell us all about Chatsworth House. We're then going to see Amy at Castle Howard and have a tour there. And finally, we're going to go and meet the wonderful Sarah Jane and Carmen at Blenheim Palace. Okay, so this is just what I want to tell you about these places, because personally I visited some of them as well. They are very Instagrammable, they're very beautiful. These are the kind of places that you can make your own personalized travel story. You can make up your own personal film tour, your own film location when you come to these places. So these places are really worth visiting. Okay, so now I'm going to share, before I start with the presentation of Leeds Castle, I'm going to start with their lovely video. Hold on a second.
So lovely to meet you all. So Leeds Castle is 900 years old. We sit on a 500-acre estate in Kent, in the village of Leeds. We're open every day other than Christmas Day, and you can explore all the grounds and gardens and the beautiful rooms within the castle itself. So to give you a little bit of history on the castle, the castle, as I said, is 900 years old. One of the most famous owners was Henry VIII, who bought it for his wife, Catherine of Aragon. She lived in the castle and they made many changes to the original parts of the castle. Most recently, we were owned by Lady Bailey, who was an American Anglo-American oil heiress, and she bought the castle in the 1920s. It was pretty much derelict when she bought it, and so she's done it up to what it is today, which is pretty beautiful. She used to party with the likes of Winston Churchill, Errol Flynn, Noel Coward at the castle. This was her weekend pad, and she had her main home in London. So we went through all of those stages, and then when Lady Bailey passed away, instead of leaving the castle to her daughters and son, she left it to a board of trustees. So now we're really proud that we're a charity in our own right. So we're an independent charity. So all the money we make from hosting groups and hosting events goes into making sure that the castle is still standing for our future generations. As I said, we are in Kent. We're just an hour outside London, and we're in the little village of Leeds, hence the name Leeds Castle. As Leeds came from the old ancient term Eslides, which has been changed over the years. And Eslides means at the bottom of the hill. So we are still sitting at the bottom of the North Downs. We offer lots of different private tours and experiences at the castle. You can come for a self-guided tour, you can use our multimedia guide, or before 10 a.m. in the morning, we can do private guided tours. We can also offer tours in lots of different languages. Another experience is that we do our themed tea and talks, which we can either have a private room or we can do those as we're walking around the castle. We can do things like our leading ladies of Leeds Castle, or we can do the High Society Secrets, which is a really popular talk. We've got many beautiful gardens. As I say, we sit on 500 acres, so there's lots to explore, and it all changes throughout the year. Our multimedia guides give you a good overview of the castle and the rooms, and also steps back in history right from when it was starting to be built 900 years and takes you through all of that. The Tea and Talks, this is our gatehouse. The gatehouse is one of the oldest parts of the castle. It's 900 years old, and this is where the Tea and Talks take place. Got different attractions on site as well. So we've got the maze itself, we've got adventure golf courses, we've got Segway, we've got Go Ape. We've also got our own falconry department as well as lots of other things to do and see. For catering purposes, you can choose to do private catering in one of our private rooms, or go into our Castle View restaurant, which is pictured just there, and choose anything between an afternoon tea, cream tea, or a 2 or 3 course lunch. There are also lots of concessions on site where you can purchase things like burgers or sandwiches. If you wanted to extend your stay, we've got lots of accommodation on site. We've got castle bedrooms, Maiden's Tower bedrooms, our beautiful lakeside lodges, and then lots of different alternatives such as Battle Hall, which is our beautiful manor house, which you can stay in, our Night's Retreat, which are self-catering family stays. So there's lots to see and do. And if you have any accessibility, then we cater very well for all of everyone's needs as well. We also host a huge amount of events throughout the year, including the Queen's Joust, the concert, our Motors by the Moat, fireworks, and lots more. That's a map of the estate. We also do weddings, hospitality, and private dining. And if anyone's looking to propose, we've got our proposal packages too. We can send out the group rates to everybody, but for now, I'm going to leave it there. And so thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Jenny. That's really cool. So what I'm going to do now is come along, because Jenny has prepared for us a little tour that she made just for us yesterday. So let me share this. Hold on a second.
Hello, I'm Jenny George. I'm the sales manager at Leeds Castle in Kent. The castle is over 900 years old, and we welcome over 450,000 visitors a year. There are different tour options at Leeds Castle. You can choose to do a private guided tour, which are before 10 a.m. in the morning, one of our self-guided tours, or you can use our multimedia guides, which tell you about the history of Leeds Castle. These are available in 9 different languages, including Japanese and Mandarin. We've got 500 acres that are open to the public, which you can explore at your leisure. Now we're going to go up and look at our outdoor activities that we can offer at Leeds Castle. One of the experiences you can do is meet the owl and meet beautiful Logan here and lots of the other birds. We've also got the maze and grotto that's behind me, an adventure golf course and the beach, as well as beautiful gardens to explore. There are many different catering options at Leeds Castle. We've got the Castle View restaurant behind us, which has got amazing views across the moat and the grounds and over to the castle itself. You can choose to do group lunches, cream teas, afternoon teas, or we can do private dining as well. So this is the gatehouse. This is one of our oldest parts of the castle, and you can choose to have your talk and teas in here. We can do talks on leading ladies of Leeds Castle, the history of Leeds Castle, or high society secrets, which is always a popular one. So we have lots of different accommodation options at Leeds Castle, from our stable courtyard bed and breakfast, where I'm standing now, our nights retreat lodges, which can accommodate the family on a self-catering basis, and up to staying in the castle, where we've got 19 bedrooms and you can choose to do larger parties. I hope you've enjoyed your snippet into Leeds Castle. If you've got any inquiries, then please do email me at bookings@leeds-castle.co.uk or have a look on our website for further details, which is www.leeds-castle.com.
Okay, everybody, so next up we're going to present for Chatsworth. We're going to have presentations from Rebecca and Gareth, but before I do that, let's have a look at their video, okay?
Good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to Chatsworth. It's lovely to meet you all today and to have this opportunity to share with you information about Chatsworth, to show you why we think it's so special, and hopefully inspire you to visit and recommend this beautiful location. Chatsworth is centrally located with good connections from London and Manchester, as well as the nearby cities of Derby and Sheffield. Both Sheffield and Derby offer a good selection of accommodation providers, and we also have our own hotel on the edge of this state. It is possible to visit Chatsworth as a day trip from London or as part of an itinerary moving north towards York, the Lake District and Scotland. We have a dedicated groups office providing group rate and FIT rates. We provide free courier entry, on-site free coach parking, a variety of itinerary options from 2 to 4 hours, as well as VIP guided experiences available on request. You may already have seen Chatsworth. We've featured in several films and TV programmes over the years, including Keira Knightley and Matthew McFadden in Pride and Prejudice. This has led to Chatsworth to affectionately be known as Darcy Manor by many of our international visitors. And the bust, as you saw in the video, was used in the film and can be found in the gift shop after you leave the house. And we've had to put a little label on there just to ask people not to kiss the bust as they head towards Mr. Darcy. The countryside surrounding Chatsworth is home to herds of red and fallow deer, as well as hundreds and hundreds of sheep grazing freely in front of the house in the parkland. The sheep often find themselves in visitor selfies, but I'm sure they're more than happy to pose. And springtime on the estate is a real treat when the new lambs arrive. This picture shows you Paynes Bridge and is a great spot to stand and view the house from across the river and take pictures. It's a nice setting for the house. As I previously mentioned, there's lots of sheep grazing and causing chaos generally on the parkland. We have a farmyard on the estate, which is included in your admission ticket. And as you can see from the picture here, you'll often find myself and colleagues in the farm in the springtime with the new arrivals. Chatsworth has been an important part of the landscape for over 400 years and home to the Cavendish family. The house was built and designed to impress over 400 years ago and very much continues to do so. From the moment you arrive in the painted hall, through the state apartments, and finishing in the beautiful sculpture gallery. Stepping out from the house, you'll find yourself in the garden. Here you can wander and explore over 100 acres and view Capability Brown's landscape in the wider parkland. And as you continue walking, you can challenge yourself with the maze and marvel at the rock garden created by Joseph Paxton. The garden contains many sculptures alongside modern sculptures, and this photo here shows the ring pond for sculptural seating and a lovely tranquil spot. There are many layers to the garden spanning the 400-year history with wonderful water features, all of them fed by gravity from lakes high above the estate, above Chatsworth. And the Emperor Fountain in front of the house can reach an impressive 90 metres. I'll now pass you on to my colleague Rebecca, who will finish the presentation.
Hello, everybody. So thank you, Gareth, for talking to us about the house and the surrounding gardens and parkland. I'm just going to talk to you now about our multimedia guide. I'll just ask Gareth if he can change the slide. Sorry.
Sorry, it's not just moving forward.
There we go. Perfect. Thank you. So we have a multimedia guide which is updated each year, and that's available in English, Mandarin, and German. It allows visitors to find out more about the areas of the house that really interest them, and that is very popular with many of our overseas visitors. Chatsworth is a great location as well for any visitors with accessibility needs. We are well served by a lift which enables any wheelchair users or other visitors with mobility issues to visit the whole visitor route. So they can go to the visitor route is split across four floors as we're built into a hillside. And it means that if you're in a wheelchair, you can see everything that an able-bodied visitor can see as well, which it is a real plus. In addition to this, we also have a changing places toilet, which has recently been installed, and that has a hoist and a shower, which is a great resource as well for anybody who needs those facilities. All of our restaurants as well at Chatsworth are on one level, they're on the ground floor, so they're fully accessible and have disabled toilets and what have you. And we also offer an accessibility shuttle which enables mobility impaired visitors to move between our attractions, so the house, the garden and the farmyard with ease. Dining and shopping. There's no reason to go hungry at Chatsworth. We've got many options to keep you satisfied. There are several takeaway options which serve hot drinks, cold drinks, snacks and ice creams. Up in our stable block, shown here in the photograph, sitting high above the house, we have the Carriage House restaurant, which is a large self-service restaurant. It sits over 200 people. and that offers a wide selection of both hot and cold food, and is a very popular choice for most visitors. If you'd prefer private dining, we can arrange this for you as well in one of our private function rooms, which are also in the stables. Our Cavendish restaurant, again in the stables, offers a set lunch menu and afternoon teas. So that is more suited to FIT visitors. And those tables can be booked online. So this is our shop in the house. So this is where you saw Gareth earlier in the film with Mr. Darcy. This is the orangery shop. It's a beautiful space. It was formerly an orangery, so it's very light with lots of glass, and it's at the end of the visitor route. It has a large selection of quality gifts and souvenirs, including jewellery, ceramics, toiletries, food gifts. Most of the products sold at Chatsworth are locally made. We try to do that and have bespoke ranges that you will only find at Chatsworth. In addition to this, we also have a farm shop, which is off-site. That's in the village of Pilsley, and that sells many food products from local producers, and that's very popular with many of our visitors as well. Up at the stable block, where I talked about the restaurants just in the previous slide, we also have a large shop which has expanded ranges, and that includes some clothing from local producers, including Barber and other outdoor brands. We have books, we have children's toys, gardening gifts, and even plants that have been grown on the estate. This shot here just shows the inside of the Carriage House restaurant. So as you can see, it's a beautiful space with large arches, and there's a balcony running around the top of that as well, just to give you a flavour. This is the space set up for an event. So thank you for listening to our presentation. I think there's another film now.
Hello, come with me and we'll do a quick tour of Chatsworth and show you some of our favourite rooms. We'll head first into the Painted Hall, so follow me. One of our most famous statues that we have at Chatsworth is the Veiled Lady. And just down this way. For any visitors with accessibility needs, we do have a lift to take you to the upper floors once you've seen all the rooms on the ground floor, and we'll go straight into the Painted Hall. This is one of my favourite rooms, and I think one of the most impressive in Chatsworth. And we'll head now to the chapel and the oak room. So after leaving the Painted Hall, we'll continue on the ground floor to the chapel and the oak room, which is just down here. The very impressive chapel. And then we'll head upstairs to see the state apartments. Okay, so after we've climbed up the great staircase, we arrive at the state apartments. There's 5 suites of rooms that we travel through. This is the music room with the trompe l'oeil, a trick of the eye painting on the door. It looks like it's an actual violin hanging off the door, but it's actually a flat painting on it. In all the rooms as you go through Chatsworth, we have these information cards in several languages. One of them is Mandarin. And then we'll head through to the state bedroom chamber. After leaving the state apartments, you come to the West Sketch Gallery. Really beautiful room, and has a fantastic painting of Duchess Georgiana. And we'll head now via the guest bedrooms down to the next level. After heading back down, we get another view of the painted hall, and we arrive at the oak landing with various paintings and portraits of the Cavendish family. And then we'll head through to the ante-library, and we can show you a quick view of the library itself as well. Another of my favourite rooms at Chatsworth is the library, which is such a beautiful space, and it contains over 40,000 books. And then we'll head through to the great dining room. So we now arrive at the great dining room. Many famous names and faces have dined in here. Probably one of the most famous was Queen Victoria. She dined here when she was Princess Victoria before coming to the throne. And then we'll head straight through now to the sculpture gallery. And the final room that we come to on the house visitor route is the stunning sculpture gallery. There's a bust of Napoleon, as well as figures from mythology as well. And greeting you to the gift shop are the two lions as we head that way. Final bust to show you, which is very popular before you continue browsing the gift shop, is of course Mr. Darcy.
Okay.
This is a place of beginnings. Before this place was here, there was just land and an idea that Vanbrugh had to turn that land into something magical. A landscape for winning hearts, mind and imaginations, capturing the possibility of moments to come. The culmination of some 3 centuries of splendor. This place is sublime. You stand without at sunrise, the dawn in front and the great hall behind, making this your place, making this the first place of the rest of your lives. This place was built for people, and it was made for you to host the dinners, the dances, the parties, to pull the dearly beloved out of the day-to-day, give them a welcome and those unique memories. Make this place your moment, and you'll own a slither of forever, picked out in broad acres and Yorkshire skies. A place to entertain, and yes, it's called Castle, but it was built to be a home, owned by a family and made from love and care and a dose of ambition. A space happily formed of beauty and time. Make your future your past. Make this your castle, Howard, a place like no other.
Good afternoon, everybody. Bear with me 1 second. I will set this all up for you. I'm hoping there you can see my screen.
It's coming through.
Perfect, thank you. My name's Amy. I am Head of Sales and Partnerships at Castle Howard, and it's wonderful to be able to present to you today. We are, excuse me, I'm just going to get rid of my little screen here. So I want to give you a bit of insight into who we are at Castle Howard and really what makes us truly a place like no other. So by way of an initial introduction, Castle Howard is a world-renowned country house full of significant historical, cultural and ecological importance. We are situated in the north of England, just 15 miles north of the medieval city of York, and only 2 hours by train from London. We also have 3 airports close by, including Leeds, Bradford, Manchester and Birmingham. The estate itself is nestled in the Howardian Hills, which is a designated national landscape, and is on the edge of the North York Moors, also a national park. The house itself was built in the 18th century and has been in the Howard family for over 300 years. The family still live in the house to this day, currently looked after by Vicky and Nick Howard, and it's Nick that you heard narrate that video just a moment ago. It's been open to the public since the 1950s, and we now welcome approximately 300,000 visitors each year. I'm hoping some of you will already have heard of us, or better still have even visited. Please do comment in the chat if you have been. The house is set in a stunning 1,000-acre estate, and it's famous for its grand architecture and beautiful interiors, and it's been used in many films and television series, most notably Bridgerton and Brideshead Revisited. And you just have a couple of really lovely shots on your screen there of the south facade of the house, and just some of the lovely interiors. So when visitors explore Castle Howard, they can explore the magnificent house, of course, the stunning gardens, picturesque lakes, and we have lovely woodland walks. You can visit the Temple of the Four Winds and enjoy the various sculptures and follies that are situated around the 1,000-acre grounds. For the young and the young at heart, there's an award-winning adventure playground called Skelf Island also. On screen here, you can see some of the beautiful architecture situated in the landscape. On the top left is our wonderful Atlas fountain with the south facade of the house in the background. On the bottom left is the Temple of the Four Winds, and this is at the end of a beautiful terrace walk and has an amazing view over the wider landscape. The top right is an example of the magnificent rhododendrons in Ray Wood, which is also situated within the visitor attraction, and these are just simply beautiful all year round. The bottom right is the Ha Ha Bridge, and in the foreground, and then the family mausoleum is in the background. This isn't actually part of the normal visitor route, however, private views and trips out to the mausoleum and the wider landscape can be arranged. So, on site, there are also a variety of fantastic cafes, restaurants, coffee shops and gift shops. Much of our produce is locally reared, produced and sourced to give all visitors a real flavour of North Yorkshire. Fish and chips are on offer, as well as obviously a traditional cream tea. The gift shop within the house itself offers a really wonderful range of homewares and souvenirs, ensuring that a piece of Castle Howard can be taken home for loved ones and friends too. And we also have a farm shop and a garden centre on site for all visitors to enjoy. And just the pictures here, you can see some families obviously just having a wonderful time on Skelf Island, and then there's some of our food produce as well there. So what was new for 2025? In April, when we opened this year, we unveiled a huge restoration programme that was years in the planning and has taken a long time to come to fruition. I have a little, I'll go through the little details and I have a little video of that to show you. So we have called this Castle Howard's 21st Century Renaissance. So as I said, when we opened in April, we unveiled this major restoration project. So this included reinstatement of the lost tapestry drawing room, which was destroyed in a fire in 1940 and had previously just been a burnt out shell. The tapestries that were made for this room in the house in 1706 have been moved back to their original home, and you can see them being placed in picture 1. There's also been a total rehang of the art collection throughout the entire house. And an example of this is that we have multiple Reynolds paintings, and these have all been put into one room within the house now. And then we have a reimagining of the grand staircase. So you can just see this at picture 2 on your screen, with famous plaster cast reliefs put on the walls, and just really cementing Castle Howard as a grand tour house. We also redecorated the long gallery, which is the largest stateroom here at Castle Howard, and you can just see those works being undertaken in picture 3. And then there's been multiple other tasks, so cleaning of thousands of books, new silk wall hangings in Lady Georgiana's dressing room, etc., etc. And as mentioned, this major piece of work is a once-in-a-lifetime transformation of the house, and is the current Howard, so Vicky and Nick's legacy as the current custodians of Castle Howard. I'm going to play you a short video now just showcasing the spectacular interiors of the house and obviously what we've done here for this 21st century Renaissance. There we go. So now that you know what to see, what do we offer for our groups and FIT visitors? So the grounds remain open all year round. The only day we close fully is Christmas Day. And the house reopens in March 2026 and remains open till the end of October, and we're open 7 days a week. We offer self-guided tours of the house and grounds, and we have trade rates that are available obviously through Mickey Travel. We also have a digital audio guide, and that's available in 9 languages, including Mandarin. And we also have grounds maps available, and they're both in English and Mandarin as well. We also offer bespoke experiences, which include private out-of-hour views with a house guide or one of our curatorial team. We can offer pre-bookable food and beverage inclusions, such as picnic afternoon teas, private dining, etc. We have a wonderful boat trip, which takes place on the lake on our boat called the Dame. And we also offer estate safaris. So although Castle Howard is 1,000 acres, and we're actually set in 9,000 acres of parkland, farmland and villages, and we can offer our visitors an estate safari. So we have a really wonderful tractor trailer tour, and up to 30 passengers can go along on that. Plus bespoke experience depending on your client's interests. So you let Mickey or ourselves know what your clients are looking for, if they have any particular interest, and we can cater our offering to those. We also have multiple accessible facilities on site. You know, we want to ensure we're accessible for all. So there's parking, blue badge parking and coach parking. We offer a land train called the Kelly car that does a 20-minute loop around the estate that accepts wheelchairs. And we also offer a couple of trampers that are for use in the ground, so people can really get into the woods and explore the wider landscape. And we also have manual wheelchairs on site that our guests are really welcome to borrow as well. So just some key facts for you to take away. We're open all year round, the house from March to October. We're a full day out, but can be enjoyed in 3 hours and as a wider itinerary. We can offer self-guided tours of the house, and we would suggest they take no less than 1 hour. And we have a digital audio guide and our visitor map available in multiple languages for the audio guide and English and Mandarin for our visitor grounds map. We have multiple on-site food and beverage and retail options. We are perfectly located just 15 miles outside of the medieval city of York, which is just 2 hours by train from London. And we have those 3 airports really close by. There's on-site parking and coach parking available. We offer private views and bespoke packages, and they're all available upon request. And then we're really family friendly with our adventure playground, and we always have an evergreen children's trail to take place in the house to hopefully prevent children just running through the house and let the parents relax and actually enjoy what we're doing. Well, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak to you all. And that's me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Amy. So, yeah, that's a really beautiful place. Let me now also share the pre-recorded walking tour that Amy has made for us as well. Give me a moment, please, everybody.
Welcome to Castle Howard. We are currently stood in the grand staircase, the first thing you see when you join us through the front doors. As you can see behind me, we have some beautiful ornate plaster casts on the walls. This is part of our 21st century Renaissance and indicative of the collections that multiple generations of Howards have collected through their grand tours. Castle Howard is a fine example of a grand tour house. A grand tour was taken by young gentlemen who travelled to Europe and purchased lots of different art and antiquities. In the Antiques Passageway, which is situated within the west wing of Castle Howard. Castle Howard was built by the notable architect John Vanbrugh, but unfortunately the west wing of the house wasn't completed in his lifetime. The west wing was completed once the Earls had come back with their antiquities and collections and realised that the house had to be completed in order to give them all a home. And this is a really popular part of Castle Howard. We are currently in the Great Hall. This room is iconic in Castle Howard. It has a beautiful dome ceiling, as you can see up here. This is unique, not only to Castle Howard, but was the first one of its kind when this house was built 300 years ago. There's lots of information I'd love to give you, and there's lots of information that your visitors will receive. We have multiple ways of being able to offer this to our visitors. That includes a digital audio guide, which is offered in 9 separate languages. We also have these really useful information boards situated in all the rooms. And of course, we have our wonderful bank of house guides who will answer any questions that any of you may have. Castle Howard has been occupied by the Howards for successive generations. The only time the family actually moved out of the house was in the 1940s, where they gave the house over to a girls' school. Sadly, in 1940, there was a fire in the fireplace below of the Great Hall, and that destroyed a lot of the house. So everything we do here at Castle Howard is about restoration and conservation, and all the money that's made from our visitors who come and enjoy our beautiful landscapes and this wonderful home goes back into the restoration and conservation of Castle Howard. And here we are in the tapestry drawing room. As you've already seen on the earlier presentation, this was part of our 21st century Renaissance and the room that we've brought back to life in completeness. We have hung on the walls here, as you can see, our tapestries back in their original home, and it's just simply beautiful, and we're really excited to share it with everybody. Last but not least, we're here in the Long Gallery, the largest of our staterooms here at Castle Howard. This room also, as part of the 21st century Renaissance, had a full facelift. So all the walls were painted, and we've relocated a lot of the portraiture, the majority of who are the Howard's ancestors, into this room and brought it back to the banqueting, dining and event space that it would have been all those years ago.
Wonderful. So that is Castle Howard. What a beautiful place. So next up in our tour today, and our last point, is going to be Blenheim Palace. I will introduce Sarah Jane in a moment to present, but before I do that, let me play their video.
everybody join us, and thank you very much. Right, let me load up my presentation. Okay, right. So, Blenheim Palace, we are based just outside the city of Oxford. We're about an hour and a half from London. We've been working in partnership with Mickey Travel for many years now, offering opportunities and packages for both FIT and group visitors. The Blenheim Palace is still a family-owned home. We are the home of this current 12th Duke of Marlborough, who resides in our East Wing. And the palace was built, for the first Duke of Marlborough, in grateful thanks, the land was given by Queen Anne. And she bequeathed him the royal manor of Woodstock and £240,000. The architect was Sir John Vanbrugh, so it is a sister property in some ways to Castle Howard, and was aided by Nicholas Hawksmoor. And the palace and the estate has been a World Heritage Site since 1987. Following the palace's completion, as I say, we are now the home of what was the Churchill family, but today is the Spencer Churchill family. The two most famous people outside of the Marlboroughs themselves are Winston Churchill, was born at Blenheim, and as is also our other ancestor is Lady Diana Spencer as well. So we are set in 900 acres of formal gardens and 2,000 acres of parkland. We have 11 palace staterooms, and when you enter through the grand front doors of Blenheim, guests should be able to pause to see the huge sweep of the grand hall. And when you look up, you will gaze at St James Thornhill's painted ceiling, some 67 feet and 20 metres above them, which is exactly half the height of the Column of Victory, which can be seen when you look out through our main doors. Today, the palace is one of the most important and extensive collections in Europe, which includes portraits, furniture, sculptures and tapestries, amongst which the famous Marlborough tapestries, the Victory series in our green writing room, and the first, second and third staterooms. In one of the Victory tapestries, you'll be able to see John Churchill on his horse, dressed in red, having just won the war. In the left-hand corner of that, you will see a soldier from the Franco-Bavarian force lowering the flag in a show of acceptance of defeat. The Long Library is thought to be the second longest room in any house in England. It's how Vanbrugh wanted it, a noble room of parade or picture gallery. It measures 183 feet long and is 32 metres high. It runs the complete length of the west front of the palace, and it is here that the gardens and parkland is shown to their best advantage. We also have the Churchill exhibition that wouldn't go away without having Churchill. And Winston himself famously said at Blenheim, "I took two very important decisions, to be born and to marry." And on the 30th of November, 1874, Winston Churchill was born at Blenheim, the home of his grandfather, the 7th Duke of Marlborough. He was baptised in the chapel here on the 27th of December, and he spent many of his formative years with his cousin and great friend Charles, the 9th Duke, who married into the Vanderbilt family, and supporting us with a big dowry and bringing with it some massive changes to the formal gardens themselves. Winston proposed to his darling Clementine at Blenheim and spent the first few days of their honeymoon here. And throughout the exhibition, you'll be able to see several artefacts, to include his crib, a lock of hair, school reports, as he was known to be quite a naughty little chap at school, and also very renowned for his fashion. And there are some that say he did, in fact, inspire the start of the onesie with his utility suit, which he had made for the Second World War, that he could jump into at any point and notice if he was going to be woken at night, and then made to come get up and support the effort. You will enjoy within the Churchill exhibition as well. There are lots of quotes in there from many of his dinners and the events, as well as some fantastic artifacts that you will see, very personal to Winston, including some of his artwork, as well as he was a keen painter. and spent a lot of his time relaxing within the formal gardens, painting as well. And you can see some of these depicted in the pictures here as well. So if we go through to, there you go. So there you can see his famous wartime siren suit, as I say, where we were starting with the onesie. So the garden, you've seen that video, so let's move on. The first Duke had a keen personal interest in the design of the landscape and thoroughly approved of the elaborate formal style of the time. His garden designer, Henry Wise, and royal gardener to both Queen Anne and King George I, realising that the first Duke might not live long enough to see the gardens at their full maturity, he transported fully grown trees in baskets to give the desired effect. And in fact, the first Duke spent only 2 summers at the palace, so Wise was actually wise in his judgment. The landscape garden, so the famous landscaper designed and created in Blenheim Estate an impressive 12,000 acres, of which we offer 2,000 acres of formal landscape gardens and parkland, which has been designed by Capability Brown. And 2 years ago, we were very fortunate. We invested an awful lot of money in supporting our families coming to Blenheim. So we built an adventure playground, and here children will be able to run freely in like a mini Blenheim. There is grand drawbridges, there's zip wires, there's water fun, all within our formal garden area as well, which has a maze. So coming to Blenheim is super easy. As I said, we've been working with Mickey Travel for an awful long time. You have itineraries planned with them for both groups and FITs. We're about an hour and a half outside of central London, serviced by Paddington, Marylebone, coming into Oxford itself and Longhambra. And we've got a number of negotiated rates, which you can speak to Mickey on as well. We have several catering outlets. We do pizzas. We've got our formal orangery, which can do afternoon teas. We have the pantry for quick snacks and sandwiches, and the Stables Cafe, which can do slightly more in the way of a lunch if people wanting to do that. And on top of that, we do private dining, so very much for groups. You can come in. We do themed talks, so you can come in, meet one of our guides, have a talk within one of our private rooms, and enjoy an afternoon tea. And equally, we do quintessentially English menus, so you can have fish and chips, sausage and mash, toad in the hole, cottage pie, all those really yummy, wonderful foods that you can have. And we are accessible to all. We've got audio guides, which we do in Mandarin, although we are launching for next year, and I will give Tim all the information on it, but we have just launched an interactive app called Archie. And that means that you can come in, you can download it onto your mobile phone, you can put your own itinerary in and your points of interest to see what you want, and then it will come back and it will give you the best route and the best touch points around the palace for you to want to see. And then you can go off and explore at your leisure as well. We do guided tours, we do self-led tours, we do out of hours, and we have a bespoke experience program. So all of that is with Mickey Travel, and you just need to speak to Tim, and one of the main team out there will be able to give that to you as well. So I think that's everything from Blenheim. A quick
Thank
overview.
you very, very much, Sarah Jane. Yeah, I definitely have great memories of fish and chips over there. I can say that's the most delightful thing that you can have for lunch. Don't have it for dinner, have it for lunch, then you can walk it off when you walk around Blenheim Palace, everybody. So speaking of walking around Blenheim Palace, we also have a pre-recorded tour, and then after that we will come along and see Carmen, who is live at Blenheim Palace. So let me first share our pre-recorded tour.
Hello, so we are in Winston Churchill's birth room. Now, it's a funny story as to how Sir Winston Churchill was born, because he wasn't actually meant to be born at Blenheim, he was meant to be born in London. But his mother, Jeanette Jerome, who you'll see just here, she was an American heiress. She was 20 years old when she gave birth to Sir Winston Churchill. And then Sir Winston Churchill's father, Lord Randolph, who was the son of the 7th Duke of Marlborough, were invited to go to St Andrew's Day Ball for the end of November of 1874. Now they were very excited. There'd be a long weekend of riding, hunting, and of course the ball. So his mother was dancing in the library, because that's where the ball took place, and she suddenly fell into labour. So she was whisked away through the library doors into this room, which happened to be the nearest room that happened to have a sofa. Because at the time of his birth, we almost certainly think this room was a woman's cloakroom. So it would have been a great big long sofa, hat stand, that kind of thing. Now, because the birth was so unexpected, they hadn't bought any baby clothes. So what they did is they actually borrowed some baby clothes of a Woodstock solicitor's wife here, who was a servant. You will be able to see these clothes in the Churchill exhibition. But there's also sayings that Sir Winston Churchill was 2 months premature. You almost certainly think this isn't the case. This is because when he was born, he was a healthy weight and he was a healthy baby. But what we almost certainly think is he was made out of wedlock 2 months before their wedding in Paris. So we are now in the library, which is the second longest room in a private home in England. Now it's 183 feet long altogether, and the first is at Castle Howard. Now, this library wasn't actually originally a library. It was the family gallery for family portraits, as well as the room where the ladies could promenade up and down if it was raining outside. It became a library in the 1740s. Now, you'll see this lovely sculpture of Queen Anne, and this was made in 1735 to 1738 by John Michael Reichbach. He was a Flemish sculptor at the time. It was commissioned by the first Duchess of Marlborough, almost like an apology present to Queen Anne, because Queen Anne had died a few years prior to this, and Queen Anne and Sarah never really rekindled their relationship as to what it once was. So she had this commissioned to almost say sorry to Queen Anne herself. But there's also sayings that Queen Anne was 4'10" height-wise and 4'10" width-wise. Now, this is because she did have an obsession with hot chocolate, but also at her funeral in 1714, her coffin was described as being square-shaped. Now, you'll see this lovely organ just down at the bottom, and this organ was made in 1882 by Henry Willis, who was a very famous organ maker at the time. Now, there's 2,300 pipes on this organ, and 3 of which actually got stolen. Now, this was at the first part of the Second World War, where 400 boys from Malvern College were evacuated here, and one boy dared another boy to steal some of the organ pipes, and he managed to do so. And he kept these organ pipes for the remainder of his life, keeping it a secret even from his wife, where on his deathbed in 2002, he said to his wife, "I'd like you to do something. Can you please go put these organ pipes back at Blenheim Palace?" She did so, and now they are back where they should be. We are now in the Green Writing Room, and the Green Writing Room has a start of the Blenheim tapestries or the Victory of the Duke of Marlborough tapestries. Now, there are 10 of them altogether, and they were made at the early part of the 18th century in Brussels. But this tapestry is actually the most important tapestry that we have here at Blenheim, and it's called the Husted Tapestry, or the Blenheim Tapestry. Now, the reason it's called the Blenheim Tapestry is because it shows the village of Blenheim in the background, which is in Bavaria, which is where the Battle of Blenheim took place. You'll see the first Duke of Marlborough on the far right, on the grey horse in the red coat, and he's being surrendered by Sir Marshal Tallard, who was the man who commanded the French and Bavarian troops, as well as the River Danube in the background. So we are now in the Red Drawing Room. Now, the Red Drawing Room would originally be the gentleman's drawing room. So this is where the gentlemen would have withdrawn from the table after dinner, after the ladies, and then they would have come in here to relax, talk about the day. There would have been a billiard table in this room, so they would have played that game, that kind of thing. But this room has the 2 largest portraits here at Blenheim Palace. We have this lovely Joshua Reynolds portrait of the 4th Duke and his family just to the right, as well as this John Singer Sargent portrait of the 9th Duke and his family to the left. Now, we'll start with the 4th Duke of Marlborough because he came first. And what's so interesting about this painting is the sense that one of the people in this painting was absolutely terrified of Joshua Reynolds. Now you'll see that youngest girl sort of clinging onto her sister's skirt in the white dress. Now her name was Anne, and she described Joshua Reynolds as ugly and scary. So Joshua Reynolds decided to showcase that in this portrait. So you'll see Anne's sister, who is the girl with the pink dress. Now she is holding a mask, and that mask represents Joshua Reynolds. You'll also see a lovely copy of this painting that was painted by one of the people in the portrait itself, who was Caroline, who is the eldest daughter of the 4th Duchess of Marlborough, and you'll see Caroline, the eldest daughter, to the far right, and was a wedding present to one of her sisters. Now we'll go on to the 9th Duke and his family. Now this painting was painted in 1905, exactly 6 months before Consuelo Roundabout and 9th Duke separated. Now you might notice that the landscape is in the Great Hall, but there aren't any steps in the Great Hall. Now the reason there were steps put in is that the 9th Duke of Marlborough and Consuelo Roundabout had a height difference. Consuelo was 5'9" and the 9th Duke was 5'6", and he did not like this. So he asked Jonson Sargent to put some steps in to decrease the look of Consuelo being taller than him.
So guys, there's so many stories to be told there at Blenheim Palace. It's an amazing place, and I can honestly say that when I went there, I also really enjoyed it, going around to the gardens and also walking through all of the rooms as well. Let's see if Carmen is available. Hey Carmen, how are you doing?
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me today, and thank you to my colleagues as well for a wonderful presentation. I think they have shared a lot of Blenheim Palace can offer. I also wanted to say thank you to my colleagues from the other locations, because as a non-English person myself, I can think of any other better way of discovering the history of England and learn about the heritage by traveling to these different locations. I've done it myself, and I will continue doing so. I think also Great Britain has a lot to offer. So yeah, thank you very much to all my colleagues. So I'm the collections and conservation manager here at Blenheim Palace. So my task is to look after the collections inside the palace, but I also support the rest of my colleagues outside. So what I can say that my colleagues haven't covered yet, because they cover everything pretty much. It's when you walk through the front door of Blenheim Palace, or you walk around the grounds, you're learning about the history, but you also are learning about the craftsmanship of wonderful architects and stonemasons and different painters and artists that have worked in these wonderful historical places, and especially Blenheim Palace. We have mentioned several times John Bamborough. He was also the architect for Castle Howard. And if he invites you to travel next year, we're celebrating 300 years since he passed away. And we're going to have exhibitions and different setups across the country. So I will definitely invite you to come and see us. And this is something that we also do, by the way. We continuously change the display at Blenheim Palace to offer something different. We'll like and reach any audience they're interested to learn more about the history of Blenheim. But we also put together grand exhibitions. So a couple of years ago, we got Icons of British Fashion. We had Royal Connections. We are preparing the Bamborough 300 celebrations as well. So we put together bigger, smaller displays and exhibitions for everyone, large installations for Christmas. So if you want to see how to celebrate Christmas in England, very different take and different subjects, but I would say it's a wonderful experience. And I know many of my colleagues here in this school as well that do it in a very big way as well. So we liked, even if we welcome over 1 million guests a year, we try to do a personalized visit for everyone that crosses that front door. Even if you are part of a group, if you come with your family, or if you visit as a solo traveler to learn more about the history. We love interacting with our guests. We have, as Jay explained, we have different tools if you rather do it more your own way, and we are working to improve that as well. But we also love interacting. So from the guides in the rooms, from the collections teams, we also do meet and greets to interact. So I would say never be shy when you visit Blenheim Palace, and try as much as you can to interact, because there's so much that we can offer. There is so much that you can discover about Blenheim Palace, and we are dying to share with everyone. So please come and visit us. We will love to see you in the near future.
Nice one. Thank you very much. So yeah, just to share really that Blenheim Palace does look like a typical film location. In fact, all of the places that we saw today looks like a film location. And of course, you can go there and make yourself a actor in your own personalized film. Okay, so let me now just replace the spotlight with myself, because we're now going to do the quiz. Hello everybody in the audience, I know that you have been looking forward to this moment. So actually the prizes today are experience prizes for 2 at every single one of these places. So starting with Leeds Castle. By the way, just to remind the audience, don't forget you'd put your name, your company name and city, and then the answer to the question, and the first person that does that will be the winner. Okay, so everybody, for the first question, the prize is 2 persons entrance to Leeds Castle, welcomed probably by Jenny. So I'd like to ask the question, which county is Leeds Castle in? Go. County. Okay, so the first person to answer the question, right, because the answer is Kent, is Sim from KL, Malaysia, Kent. Okay, so Sim, you've got the first prize there. Okay. Next question, everybody. This question will be regarding Chatsworth House. So for the entrance to Chatsworth House for 2 persons, the question is, what's the name of the famous bust that you saw at Chatsworth House? What's his name? There you go. Somebody's very quickly at it as well. So Carol from Duidaya Travel and Jakarta, it's Mr. Darcy. Okay. So Carol. So my next question is going to be about Castle Howard, everybody. So Castle Howard is obviously that beautiful place in Yorkshire. Okay, the question is, how many minutes drive is it from York to Castle Howard? So I'll just watch the people doing. I will try and pick the person that is closest to it. I'll take the answer in minutes, okay? So I can safely say that so far no one has answered it correctly yet. Keep trying, people. No, it's not 30 minutes. Let me take the person that is closest to it. Ah, somebody's got it right. Okay, it's 15 minutes. I saw on the presentation it was 15 minutes. And I saw somebody getting this at 15 minutes. Hold on a second. From Thailand. Nuchana Ukrit from ATXP Thailand is 15 minutes, okay? So Nuchana Ukrit. And then last but not least, the question on Blenheim Palace, okay? Are you ready, everybody? So Blenheim Palace is located next to which famous British city? Go. Don't forget to put your name, your company name and city and the answer. Okay, so the answer is Oxford. Let's see who's the first person that's got that with all the details. So Sonia from NK Tours has put Oxford. Okay, so Sonia from NK Tours. Okay, guys. So what I would love to do is write to all of those winners and say, you know, congratulations, and I'll give a copy to Jenny, Rebecca, Amy, and Sarah, Jane, Emma, and Carmen, so that you can meet up when you get the chance to go to the UK. I'd like to thank everybody for coming today, the whole audience. You've really spent a lot of time looking at us. I'd like to thank Amy, Rebecca, Gareth, Jenny, and of course Carmen, Sarah, Jane, and Emma for helping out with this. Thanks for everyone for coming. Hopefully we can see all of these different attractions in your itineraries, and hopefully we can see lots of your visitors coming next 2026. Okay, so thanks everyone. And let me just farewell with the video again from Blenheim Palace.